Greetings, Pokemon fans, and welcome back to Polar Wars Wrath. My name is JD, and we got a very special video in store for you today. So if you haven't been paying attention to my channel, the last couple weeks we've been playing through Pokemon Blue with full evolved fire types to see who the best fire type is in Generation 1. We've played through all the Pokemon at this point. Now it's just breaking down who's the best. We're going to rank it from worst to best. We have 7 Pokemon that are participating in this. Before I dive into that, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell. You get videos like this all the time. And also make sure you comment, it helps out the YouTube algorithm. Without further ado, let's go and dive into the 7 Pokemon that participated in this. In no specific order, it's Charizard, Moltres, Flareon, Magmar, Rapidash, Arcanine, and Ninetales. So there's 7 Pokemon, 7 unique Pokemon. Some of them are dual types, some of them are just mono fire type. Most of them are mono fire type, that's a better way to put it. Let's go and dive into these Pokemon. The first Pokemon we want to talk about is a Pokemon that came in last, which is Moltres. Moltres to me is the worst fire type Pokemon in Generation 1, which says a lot because it is a legendary Pokemon and it has really good stats. It's pretty much its biggest advantage. It has great stats. It has 495 base stat total. It's the highest of all the Pokemon that we played through in this challenge. And here's the problem with this Pokemon as well, is it actually had all the advantages of being able to see all the other Pokemon. I played through this Pokemon last. This is the last playthrough. I did this last week. It had all the advantages of being able to see what other Pokemon struggled, where they went wrong, and being able to put all that information together into a run for this Pokemon, and it just didn't do well. Like I said, high stats, it had the advantages of going last, but here's the problem. It's in the slow level up rate, so you don't pace as well with the game, so you might have to fight a few extra battles, which takes time, and we don't have a great moveset. If we had a better moveset, being a slow level up rate wouldn't have hurt us. When we play through with Articuno and Zapdos, they have really good level up movesets. Well, they start the game with good movesets, they don't level up a lot. But they have a really good moveset, whereas this Pokemon does not. So you can barely see it on there, but we started off with Peck and Fire Spin. Peck isn't bad, but around like the late early game, where you start getting in the mid game, it doesn't work very well. Even though we have great stats, it's just a very not powerful move. So you have to move on, and then you gotta get Fly. And Fly's not bad, but you're stuck with Fly the rest of the game. And then Fire Spin's a garbage move. It's 15 base power, it's 70% accurate. He actually really kills you on this. It only has 15 power points. It does work like Rap, so when it hits, it does work. But here's the other problem with Rap, is it takes a while to knock a Pokemon out. There is no one-hit knockout capability of this. Peck has that occasionally. Fire Spin does not. So your battles are longer, which resulted in this Pokemon having a much longer playthrough. And then also, you just don't have a broad moveset. That's a very short move pool. Yeah, it didn't help us that, we didn't get any moves. And then the moves we do get, they're not until like mid to late game. So the early part of the game is Pokemon's garbage, and in late game it's not exactly great, but it got better in the late game, I'll give it that. We beat the game at 1 hour and 6 minutes and 38 seconds, and like I said, all the advantages of high stats, having all the knowledge, even with the garbage moveset, you can try to work around it, and we did, and we just ended up with the worst result. The next Pokemon that came in 6th place is Ninetales. Now Ninetales has some things unique about it, but here's the biggest problem with fire types in general in Generation 1. There's not really a mid-game fire type move. Most Pokemon start out with Ember, and then in Generation 2, I'll give an example, Ember, and you're able to get Flame Wheel to handle the middle game. It's a 60 base power fire move. Ember is a 40 base power fire move, so it doesn't progress. Other moves progress. If you look at water types get Bubble, and then get Water Gun, then they can Bubble Beam, then get Hydro Pump and Surf. It progresses pretty well. Grass type, let's go Vine Whip, Razor Leaf, Petal Dance, and then Solar Beam at the end of the game. Or Mega Drain. It progresses a lot better. Fire type Pokemon do not get that luxury. If you are a special attacker like Ninetales is, it had a low physical attack stat. Its attack stat was like 71 or 76, something like that. Not horrible, but it's definitely not its forte. And you don't get a fire type move until you beat Blaine's Gym with Fire Blast. So this Pokemon had to rely on Ember and like Dig and Body Slam, which those aren't bad moves, but like I said, not a physical attacker. And so it resulted in this Pokemon having a really tough mid-game. Didn't do horrible. 103 is nothing to saw chat in Generation 1. It did beat out Moltres, the legendary Pokemon. Its base stat total was 425. But like I said, this is a special attacker, and it didn't have great defense either. The special attacker with no special moves for the mid-game really did hurt this Pokemon. The next Pokemon I want to talk about on this list is actually the Pokemon number 5 on our list. It is another Pokemon with a slow level up rate, just like Moltres. It is Arcanine. Now, Arcanine has some things going for it that were pretty decent. It is in the slow level up rate, so that's its disadvantage. However, it has the second highest base stat total of all the Pokemon that participated in this playthrough. 455 base stat total. It's not far off of Moltres, only 40 less. Now here's where this Pokemon has an advantage over Moltres. One, it has a slightly better moveset. It's not a great moveset by any stretch of the imagination. Moveset it has, it actually is a balanced attacker. It can hit physical and special moves pretty hard. And this Pokemon has access to Body Slam and Dig. Gets his moves pretty relatively early, not super early, but right after Missy's Gym, or right before Missy's Gym, I should say, you get Dig. And then right after Missy's Gym on the SSN, you get Body Slam. There's two great physical moves. And even though Ember is not a great special move, you can mitigate the middle game with a decent physical move here and there. It's also a Stone evolution, just like Ninetales. Don't get any more moves via level up once you use the Stone. Now, we started out with this. I did give this Pokemon Agility. I gave Ninetales Confuse Ray. I forgot to mention that. But even those moves didn't really help these Pokemon out very much. They're just not great in Generation 1. In other generations, they are pretty good. But in Generation 1, they're not the best. Now, moving on to the next Pokemon, which is number 4, which is Magmar. Magmar comes in with actually the lowest base stat total of all the Pokemon. Has two disadvantages. One, it went first. It went first in my challenge, and it also has the lowest base stat total. Does that mean it's bad? No. If I play through this again, I could probably get this under an hour easily. It might actually pass a couple Pokemon. What I will say about Magmar is a pretty solid Pokemon. It actually has some pretty good move diversity. It starts off with Ember only. It does add Mega Punch. It does add some things, so it has some good physical and special moves. It's a balanced attacker, that's what I'll say about Magmar as well. And also gets access to some moves that the other Pokemon don't get access to, which is like Psychic. And that's why I think this Pokemon, if I play through again, I'd probably do very well. The biggest problem we had in this playthrough was Lance. And Lance's Gyarados. We know how to beat Lance's Gyarados. We know the strategy is going to help us if we play through again. So 101 was the time. However, I do believe this Pokemon could do better with another playthrough or two. A little bit of optimization. These are not usually optimized runs. These are just first attempts and see what happens. Like I said, Magmar wasn't horrible, but Magmar also wasn't the best. Moving on to number 3, which was very surprising to me. Flareon came in and got a time under an hour, 59 minutes and 47 seconds with only one reset. I was very surprised at that. Flareon is an example of very good balanced stats. It's a physical attacker and a special attacker. And if you look at its moveset, you kind of can't see it there, but it does start off with Ember and Quick Attack are two of its early game moves, so those are solid. Something physical, something special. It gets access to Bite later, you get access to Body Slam, you get access to a whole bunch of moves, and I really was upset that this one didn't get Dig. I thought it got Dig. I've been looking at Generation 3 movesets, and a bunch of Pokemon, like all the evolutions, get access to Dig. And I misread that and didn't realize it wasn't Generation 1. However, the Pokemon still did very well. And Flareon, it comes in at a balanced attacker with 430 base stat total. Not a high amount of stats, but also not the best. It's kind of like middle of the road when it comes to fire type. And I really can't say anything bad about it. It's just, like I said, a balanced attacker. It could really benefit from a mid-game move like Flame Wheel, like in Generation 2, would probably make this Pokemon extremely good in the mid-game in this one, but there's no mid-game fire move. That's kind of the downside to fire types, is they just miss out on that stuff in the middle of the game. However, got to get a pretty good run out of it. Let's move on to the Pokemon that came in second place, which is Rapidash, which was a very big surprise to me. Rapidash came in with a time of 59 minutes and 27 seconds. There are 12 resets there. Now, if I play through this one again, I'm pretty sure I would have a time around 55 minutes. I'm very confident in that. This Pokemon was very solid playthrough. It is not quite a balanced attack. It's actually a bigger physical attack stat than it does special. It comes in and starts off the game with Ember and Stomp, which are two very solid moves to start the game with. So you have a physical move, which is actually more powerful, and you have a special move, which is actually pretty good as well. So not bad in the early game. It really didn't help that the mid game sucked. We actually had a big problem with the Hiker Boomer, trying to get through him with this Pokemon because Ember, like I said, not a special attacker, so Ember didn't do as much because it's low special. We didn't do horrible in this game, and like I said, 12 resets. If I played through this playthrough again with this Pokemon, knowing what I know now, I would probably be able to get this under 55 minutes. I'm pretty confident in that. Very solid Pokemon. It actually comes in with the second lowest stats. And as usual, it's a Fire-type Pokemon that can really benefit from a good mid-game move. Unlike the other Fire types, like at least most of them, this Pokemon does not get access to Dig, which would probably have been very helpful against Boomer the Hiker. Boomer the Hiker really gave this Pokemon like 3 or 4 resets, but it is what it is. The best Pokemon in Generation, best Fire type I should say, is actually one of the best Pokemon, period, probably in Generation 1. But best Fire type by far is Charizard. It's not even close. And if I play through this again, I could get this time under 45 minutes. I guarantee anything I could do that. The reason why Charizard is so good, First off, he is a balanced attacker as well. His special is lower than his physical attack. In Generation 2, his special is actually way higher, like special attack. It's 81, which covers both attack and defense in Gen 1, but the special attack in Generation 2 and on is 100. So this Pokemon actually gets better in Generation 2. And it, like I said, it's very balanced. It has physical moves, it has good special moves, it has Ember, it gets Flamethrower and Fire Spin eventually, and Fire Blast. But also in the middle game where we need to mitigate not having a good fire move, it gets access to Dig, access to Seismic Toss, Mega Punch, Body Slam. We also get access to Swords Dance. It's one of the best moves in the game by far, especially for a good physical attacking Pokemon. You get Swords Dance going and you get up your stats by 6 stages. This is a setup and sweep Pokemon that none of the other Pokemon had an answer to. Some Pokemon had access to Agility, which you can set up with and it helps you sweep, but nothing compares to Swords Dance in my opinion. Even Amnesia, in my opinion, isn't as good as Swords Dance. And this Pokemon just can set up and sweep and just has a lot of the ability to brute force its way through problems where the other Pokemon did not. And we played through 2 times. I did because I saw some errors of my playthrough and I'm like, okay, I think I can fix this, and I played through again. I'm not going to do that with all the Pokemon. There are some Pokemon, though, I do want to try to get a better time, but that'll be a future video. By far, I think Charizard is not only the best fire type, but one of the best Pokemon in the game. Other than playing through with Mewtwo, this is my best playthrough to date. Getting the game beat with 48 minutes, under 50 minutes. And like I said, I think if I played through again, knowing what I know now, I could easily get this under about 45 minutes. I don't think I could get it close to 40 minutes, but 45 minutes nonetheless is a very solid time. And this is by far the best Fire-type Pokemon in Generation 1. And if you think something otherwise, you think a strategy I used on another Pokemon was pretty bad, let me know in the comment section down below, but I think Charizard takes the crown for Fire-types. Now, moving on from this, the next playthrough I have, and I'm actually going to just go ahead and switch back up to my intro, and I'll talk a little bit about the next video. Next series of videos, I should say. Next series of videos that we're going to play through as are the Fighting type. So that gives us some pretty decent options for the Fighting type Pokemon. And there's some good ones in here. Machamp and Poliwrath are 2 good ones. I think we can't underestimate Hitmonlee, because Hitmonlee starts the game with a stab move, double kick, and also starts with a badge boost move and Meditate. So that one you can't roll out. I think we can roll out Primeape and Hitmonchan. I'm still going to play through them just to see how good they can be. I played through Hitmonchan a long time ago, and I used all the elemental punches, but this Pokemon has garbage special. So I'm going to try to see what this Pokemon looks like when you have a just all physical attacks, physical moves, see how it looks. It has a really good physical attack, and I think there's a strategy there that maybe that can make that Pokemon a lot better than my previous playthrough I did with it. But that's what's coming up on the channel. That's how we're going to rank the fire types. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. This is JD. This is Poliwrath's Wrath. I'm really excited to play through all these types. I really am. Fighting types are very fun. They usually get a bad rap. I think we're going to be very surprised. I think we might actually beat Charizard a couple times with this. I'm pretty sure Poliwrath is going to obliterate Charizard's time. And I think Machamp will also do. I almost call it Hitmonchamp. I do that so much in Generation 2. Is I'm going from Hitmonlee to Hitmonchan to Hitmonchamp. I call that every time. And I might actually name them now to do the playthrough. I'm very excited to do Fighting type. The next Pokemon type after that is Flying type. That's my video. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. As usual, like I said in the beginning, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Have a good one. I'll see you guys on Friday where we have a playthrough of Pokemon Crystal fully evolved, optimized with Furt, the long body Pokemon. It's kind of a frustrating playthrough in some ways, but let me know what you think. Have a good one. See you then.